On this Vancouver Pride episode of Outlook TV, the Vancouver Pride Parade with Angus.
New York City's finest, Lady Bunny.
The Dyke March in East Vancouver, and much, much more. Hello and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay, and you're watching the Queer Magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast.
We're here for part 2 of our Vancouver Pride coverage.
The only thing fiercer than this artwork is the Pride Parade.
We're off to Pride Bingo, where I understand grease is the word.
So slick back your hair, roll some cigarettes up in your sleeve, and start snapping, because a man's got this next story.
Hey everyone, happy Pride! We're here at Celebrities for the Pride edition of Bingo for Life, a fundraiser for Friends of Life Foundation. Let's check it out.
It's a very special one tonight because we're doing a Pride edition of Gay Bingo, and we decided to do a really good, well-known theme, which is the Grease Bingo. I'm here as Sandra D. We have a Danny Zuko here. We have a Frenchie here. We have a lot of the people here in this actual room. Stick around. Gay Bingo is going to start very, very soon. Mwah.
So every week we have this bingo, and we have a rotating roster of drag queens, so it's always different, it's always fun. And then during Pride Week, we like to have we try to amp it up a little bit. Oh, 69! Fundraising has always been a huge integral part for drag queens. And drag queens, I think, are one of the segments of the population that give back to charity. They make it a very important part of everything that they do. So most every event that a drag queen is involved with has some sort of tie to giving back to the community. And so I think that appeals to the community at large when they see drag queens working so hard to give back, that everybody wants to do their part and give back as well.
I've been coming since it was even before that's Carlotta back there. Even before it was at the Royal, I was coming to bingo. Bingo has really been part of my life forever, and it's like part of a family. There was Joni, now there's Carlotta, but it raises money for a good cause, you get great prizes, and you have a hell of a good time.
If you reach out and if you go out into society, you are going to find people who have like-minded ideas as you. You just have to be patient, and you just have to trust and believe that there are many, many people. The world is full of so many people. You are going to find someone somewhere that has the same sort of ideas as you, and you won't feel alone, and you will blossom and grow, and it will be beautiful.
Yes, we have a winner!
Oh my God! Bingo! Bingo! Yeah! This is Emmanuel Villemehor for Outlook TV.
It's time for us to take a break now.
Time to strut with Stolies and have ourselves some liquid break. Work.
You're watching Outlook TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
And I'm about to score. Yeah!
I hope you do better later this weekend, just
Yeah,
saying.
me too.
And now we're going to take you to Lady Bunny.
Woo!
Lady Bunny is here in town for the 39th Pride Festival here in Vancouver. She's quite the political animal. Let's find out what are her views of what's happening to our neighbors to the south.
I've been working a little bit everywhere, but one of the big things that I've been doing is this event right here with Lady Bunny. I'm freaking out. Yeah, me and my good friend Dust, we run a show as well in Kitsilano. And then I've been sort of pittering and pattering around. I even did a stand-up set at Yuck Yucks.
My Pride has been great. I have managed to do some really, really cool events. Me and my sister Amy Grindhouse, we did some stand-up, which is something new for us. We also had our own show. It's been really good. It feels like one of the best. I'm riding a high. It's really nice.
This will be my first event performing this year. Actually, my first Pride event performing ever. I only started doing drag just about a year ago. I would describe my drag as the grotesquely feminine with none of the class.
I work with performers all the time, so I feel like I have a lot to offer young performers about stage presence and about connecting to an audience and about being at ease. And so I often find that I like to help mentor young performers in that aspect.
And today you're with Lady Bunny. How does that feel?
I think it's pretty amazing. She's a trailblazer when it comes to drag. She's been around a long time and she's still kicking, and I think she's an amazing performer and hero. Love her. So it's great to work with her and party with her too.
A lot of people want marriage because there is a will, and if you don't have property to transfer when you die, you're not that concerned about marriage. You're not you can just live your life, with your gay lover or whatever, without but it's the property transfer that's important. That's why gay marriage was so high up on the roster in terms of the agenda, because the gays with money control the agenda. And I don't know if it's the rise of the alt-right, but I was in Warsaw for their gay pride, and skinheads were throwing firecrackers at the parade. I mean, there's something going on. There's something going on to where a certain kind of person, possibly anti-immigrant, possibly, anti-Muslim, is also anti-gay. These people, their attitude is, I don't have a job. You know, and maybe they're blaming the immigrants for the fact that they don't have a job, which is probably not the real reason they have a job, because they don't want to go pick tomatoes for $6 an hour anyway. Very scary for gay people, because if Trump is impeached, it could actually be worse if Mike Pence gets his way.
Then I started to moan. Oh.
Another wonderful night with a bunch of drag queens. Who could ask for anything more? Remember, spray and neuter your local drag queen. For Outlook TV, I'm Fred Camperman.
There is so much to be proud about.
If I had any more pride, I would explode into rainbows.
I think you might have already started.
Oh, you're right. I'm leaking.
Hello and welcome to Toronto's 2017 Slut Walk. We're here in Allen Gardens just to see what's going on and what's a little slutty. What's your name and what brings you out to Slut Walk TO 2017?
I'm Daniel Fortunato, and I was just supporting a great cause. I have a lot of friends who are in the industry and a lot of...
Now, by the industry, do you mean are they sex workers? And in what field do you, if you don't mind disclosing?
They're sex workers, so I have a lot of friends who are prostitutes and a lot of street youths as well.
So you feel this is a chance to stand up and let their voices be heard even though they may not be able to be here?
What brought me to Slut Walk 2017 is because I wanted to share the examples of how I've been a subject of victim blaming.
Would you mind talking anything about that and sharing some of your story with us and why it's so important for you to be here today?
It's important because I feel people should be able to dress however they want to, and you know, I feel like sexism, transphobia, homophobia, rape, sexual assault, etc., and all forms of oppression need to end.
Right, so I'm here because as a woman I have experienced oppression and a sense of endangerment because of who I am and how I dress, and I don't think that's okay. I don't think I should fear being attacked for how I dress or who I am.
No one should ever feel like they're persecuted or objectified simply for the way they dress, and there's nothing wrong with the way you're dressed tonight. You look quite beautiful. And taking off your hood and telling us a little bit about who you are and what brings you to Slut Walk 2017.
Yeah, I'm Xavier Thrace, and I'm Toronto Puppy 2017, and I'm here to actually support and try to help bring awareness and end body shaming.
Thank you very much. Is there anything perhaps that stands out specifically as to what brings you here, a story that really transcends the motion for you?
Well, the fact that my partner's a sex worker, as well as the fact that I'm part of the fetish community, and so what we try to do is we try to promote acceptance and inclusion throughout the community, and this is just one of the many ways that we do this.
Thank you very much for your work. We really appreciate you working on inclusion and really making sure that everyone feels included together. Bye-bye, puppy. Scritches. Hey, Kinksters. This is just a sign-off. We at www.getkinky.com. Just wanted to thank you all for coming out to Slut Walk 2017, giving you a last look at all of the wonderful people that come together to put this together.
We're almost at the next story. Almost there.
And next we have the Vancouver Liberal Party of Canada.
And could you tell us a little bit about your role and responsibilities within Parliament?
Sure. So the special advisor role is new for us as a federal government. In 150 years of history, we haven't had a special advisor to the Prime Minister, and we haven't had anybody focused on LGBTQ issues. And this is all the idea and the thinking of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He wants to make sure that we have a coordinating mechanism inside government to make sure that we are doing more with and for the LGBTQ community. And so it's a real honor as the first openly gay MP elected from Alberta to serve in this role, to serve the community in this way.
What Canada is, we're a country that understands that our differences are our greatest strength, and how we pull together as a community in respect, in equality, in friendship is how you build a better country, better community, a better world.
It's really to do four things. One is to be a focal point for the community into government and for us to communicate with the community. Second is to coordinate the machinery of government to get results for the community, like C-16, trans rights. Third is to shine a spotlight on important issues. Queer people of color, two-spirited individuals, trans rights. And then fourth is to continue to talk about LGBTQ2 issues as elected officials. So in my role as MPs, ministers, and the Prime Minister, to continue to talk about LGBTQ2 issues here in Canada and around the world. What people are saying is we can't believe the government's doing this. We can't believe the government's listening. We're very happy that this pathway into government now exists. And I can tell you that for an older demographic of our community, these are people who in the 50s all the way to the 90s were systematically persecuted and interrogated and fired for being lesbian, gay, trans or different in the federal public service. We are working very hard this summer to make a formal apology to all of those federal public servants, including people in the military and the RCMP, who were wronged. And we need to make that apology, and it will happen by the end of 2017.
And of course now we have Morgan Auger, our national hero in the Parade Grand Marshal category, who is a transgender mom of two and is on a mission to normalize transgender identities at civic, provincial, and federal levels.
I mean, if you talk to trans people now after C-16 passed the Senate, it's the first time the federal government has said, you belong and you're protected, now in the criminal code and also in the Canadian Charter of Human Rights. We have more work to do. We're working hard on the blood ban, getting that from 1 year down to far less than that, if not zero. We also have work to do with taking the stigma and the sense of criminalization out of HIV positive status. We also have work to do to make sure that every LGBTQ2 person in Canada realizes that they belong.
What do you feel this position will empower the government to do that they couldn't do prior?
So this is really interesting question, and one of the things that I'm working on with the Secretariat is an analysis of every single department and what programming, what kind of grants and contributions, what kind of work is done in every ministry that could not just benefit but help make the lives of LGBTQ citizens better. I'll give you an example. We have something called the Security Infrastructure Program through Public Safety and Public Security, and the way it was launched and messaged, people assumed it was for churches or synagogues or mosques that might, come under some not scrutiny, but need some extra physical infrastructure. Well, the reality is it applies to Pride centers as well. And since we messaged that to the community, we've had Pride centers and organizations apply to the government to match them 50% on any sort of security upgrades they want to do. We're seeing a number of firsts. So Caracat, New Brunswick, Pride for the first time. Fort McMurray is having a barbecue in Alberta in August. We've had, very tiny, small prides. Like in my hometown of Morinville, 10,000 people. I marched down the main street of Morinville with 700 kids in an elementary and junior high school. That was not something that would happen when I grew up. And so prides are becoming bigger. They're diverse. I mean, Pride is a celebration, and it's also, there's a protest element. And so when members of the community feel that they haven't been heard, it's totally not just acceptable, it's normal. It's what Pride is. It's where we came from. I mean, we all wanted to create more space, and that's what Prides are for. And so as long as we continue to make sure that they're inclusive and that they represent all voices, I think, Prides are a place where everybody needs to come together and celebrate, and also remember there's still more work to do.
We're going to have to take a little break now.
Time we're a little more on fleek for Pride there, Rebecca. Oh, yeah.
You are watching Outlook TV. Ow!
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
Up next, we have the Dyke March in force.
My name's Emily Ann Fraser. I'm here with Outlook TV. Tell your mom, tell your dog, tell your friends. We are here in East Van, and today, we march. My neighbors were yelling, you nigger dykes out the window at us because Trump, has allowed people to talk this way again. I hadn't been used to that for the last few years. This is not acceptable. There's been a lot of behavior in the past year that has changed, as a result of what's been going on down south. And so this year it's really important to march, I think.
We came this year because there's not enough lesbians in Vancouver anymore. Like the young people they're identifying as non-binary or gender fluid or queer or something, and backing away from their womanhood and from lesbian and from feminist. So we wanted to come and be proud lesbians and be models for the young people and allies for the other grumpy old dykes.
I marched today because I'm here to just be out and proud, and I want to support lesbian visibility in Dyke March.
I'm marching today because there's not a lot of people of color visibility, so here is one of my most Mexican heroes.
I like being a dyke. I like being a dyke. I like being a dyke. I like being a dyke.
Lesbian history, as well as visibility, as well as to recognize the feminist lesbians who fought for lots of rights and supported us to make us where we are today.
Support the Dyke March. I've been doing it for years, and everything about it identifies with me. So I just want to support it 100%. Vancouver Pride Society's hashtag is my pride, so just thought I'd put that out there if everybody wants to do some hashtagging.
Pride's just like about acceptance, and it's important to show the world that we exist and we're here and we're not going anywhere. And like, I'm from Australia, so like we still don't have marriage equality.
My name's Emily Ann Fraser. This was Outlook TV, and wow, what a powerful march, meaningful, and you really got the heart and soul of this community. Thanks for watching.
Up next, we're going to take you to the sold-out Untoxicated party.
With all the fun, all of the pride, and none of the substances, Aman's got this story. Let's see what it's all about.
Happy Pride, everybody. We're here at David and Butte to check out Untoxicated, a sober, substance-free party with special guests Nina Flowers and Katya from RuPaul's Drag Race. Let's go check it out.
I think it's the only event of its kind in Vancouver, like, that's substance-free. Gay community, queer community, drug use is so rampant. And, I'm not here to judge anything. I just want people to do things safely, but we also have to give spaces for people where they know they can just come and feel safe and they don't have to worry about a thing.
You're spending all your time in this wrong situation.
I haven't seen many transgender artists do country music. To me, it's very important. I grew up on country music, and a part of me started to not do country because I was scared of what people would think that like country music if they wouldn't be okay with me, and I realized that's the important thing to me. I want to show who I am to these people, and I think with exposure comes acceptance.
Pride is just about being together and having a happy, good time together. So, that's why I'm happy that I'm a part of this little project today. It's
Absolutely.
fun.
A lot of people have struggles in their lives, so to be here and help them celebrate sobriety, I think it's everything. It's fantastic.
Everybody knows that I'm $1 million diamond.
Being sober is a great part of Pride. I am sober myself today. Not normally, but I'm so excited to be sober today and just represents, a different crowd, and all ages, right? This is an all ages event, so it's fun to see younger crowd. There's a young lady there in drag, and it's so cute, so I love it.
People with problems with substances or drinking, it often seems like they're never going to have fun again when they get into recovery. It seems like a daunting task, like, oh, I can't go out, I can't do this, I can't do that, but events like this provide a space for people who maybe have put down the drink and the drug for good, and they can still have a good time.
So what is Pride for you and what makes it so special?
Pride for me is, well, now it's more important since in America we have a fascist dictatorship run by stupidity. So now it's more important than ever just to be unapologetically queer and to love each other.
Oh my God, that was amazing. This is Emmanuel Vimihor for Outlook TV. Happy Pride!
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this episode of Outlook TV, but fear not, we'll be back.
And you have so many other ways to follow us. Follow us on any of the social medias out there, you young kids, or shoot us an email if you want to volunteer with us, because we are so much fun.
Look at us. Total fun.
We're in a horn.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay.
Stay fabulous, Canada.